Should you just move on or move forward? This is the question. So, I get strange dreams every once in a while. Actually, I've been getting them a lot more often. And sometimes they help me complete something in my past or gives me an insight. And in one of the dreams, my true love had actually come to me. I mean, he's done this a few times, and he's told me to just move on. And I know that that's kind of a trick because, no, when you know that that is your person and no other will compare, you can't move on from that. You can't give up on that. It's the same thing when you have a dream inside of you of what you want to create for your life. You don't want to just let go of that dream and give up on it. And certainly the same when it comes to a business idea. If you know that it's going to change the world, you don't give up just because it's hard. And I've talked a lot about this, and in fact, right now I'm currently editing and clipping some of my live streams that I've done both on Instagram and on Facebook. And I'm going to be putting them on YouTube. I mean, right now they're unlisted because I need to add things. But what's going on basically is that, well, I'm creating Carly Uncensored. It's going to be my YouTube channel of all of my insights, and yeah, it's my way of showing the light. So the thing though about moving forward is that you don't actually let go of your dream, and that's what I'm really doing. I've been waiting now for a while, and I mean, I've said all that I need to say, and things are out there. I've planted the seeds. I've planted the seeds in my business, I've planted the seeds in my romantic life, and I've planted the seeds in what I want to create in the next couple of months before, like, winter and everything, when it all settles down and I take a break from things. And, like, I'm not giving up on any of my dreams. But I am moving forward. I do know what I want to create. And the thing about moving forward rather than moving on is that you don't give up, you just pivot. So that's the difference. So, I mean, you can still have that vision and that dream for yourself, even when you don't think that you're going to get it right away. I mean, I don't know. For all I know, I could suddenly get a bunch of book sales just pouring in, and people could start buying up my courses left, right, and center. They just automatically see my YouTube channel for my business, and it just explodes overnight. Who knows? Or I could suddenly have somebody come across a podcast that I did or something else that I put out there, and it just explodes. And who knows, like maybe in my romantic life, my true love finally is ready. And he says, okay, let's do this. Let's get this going. And I don't want to wait anymore. And we just do it. Or maybe it comes in slower. But either way, I'm not giving up. But I mean, this is the same thing, like even when you're messaging somebody to reach out and they don't respond right away, rather than letting that affect you and being like, it's never going to happen, you just move forward. You find something else to do. So in my case, I'm moving forward. Things didn't happen the way I exactly wanted them this summer. Like, I'm still here. I'm still just in this state of readiness without any indication of anything happening. And I mean, if I go the supernatural route, I mean, sometimes I kind of feel like things are happening. And I mean, I've been getting a lot of energies, so like I'm actually sensitive to energy, and the Lion's Gate is open, so I've been getting like kind of energetic downloads. You can think I'm crazy if you want, but anybody who's actually felt it, they understand. And that's what I really want to convey, is like there's a lot more than what you can see. I mean, the last 3 years have been like, I've had to suspend my disbelief in a lot of things. I mean, the reason I know it's my person is because I can actually feel him, which is like, I didn't think that that was possible until it actually happened. Like, I thought it was just something in a supernatural romance that I'd come up with years and years ago, that like it wasn't actually possible, but it's possible. And then I went down a rabbit hole of information. So I mean, if you feel something, it might not be in your head. Kind of trust your intuition on that. There might be more to it than that. And I mean, I kind of always had that feeling. And then like last year when I burned it all down and I said what needed to be said, and I tried to literally move on and give up. Well, that's when the most supernatural things really kicked in. And then I realized, oh, no, I can't move on, because anything else is just, it's not gonna be it. Like, that's the thing. It's like, I recognize, it's like, oh, okay. Like, I can feel him. That's, like, and I get the dreams and things. So it's like, no, even if I did try to move on and give up completely, sorry, I'd feel way too guilty to have another man in my life. So I'm just moving forward. I'm focusing on where my next step is and what I want to create. And, you know, the thing about moving forward, though, is you leave a space open. You don't close a door. Moving on means closing the door and being like, I'm done. Like, it's done. Like, I did that with my ex. The door is closed. There is no way he is ever coming back in that capacity, ever. Like, we are never, ever, ever getting back together. Like, that sort of thing. But when you leave the door open, there's always a chance for somebody to come back. And I mean, that's the same thing in like anything, like a friendship or a family situation where there was a rupture in that relationship in regards to family. If you kind of leave a door open, you don't shut them all, you don't lock them all. Maybe you lock one or two because that door they were misusing, but there's still a door. Or maybe there's somebody else out there who also happens to know what's going on and they can relay the message. Well, the door is always open. It's just that the person who has to step through needs to do it at the higher level, because the door is open for the person who has recognized that the reason the door had to close in the first place, or that they were locked out of one or two doors, it was because it was hurting. So, I mean, my true love has locked his doors right now. For all I know, he's done that because he really needed some time and space to really think about things and to take care of himself. But he didn't lock all the doors, because I still kind of feel him, and I'm in connection with people that relay messages that I kind of know are for me from him. And I have that feeling. I just know he'll be back. And I mean, with my family and people, if they really care about me, if they feel remorse for how they were with me, and they're ready to meet me at the higher level, they can come back. I don't lock a door unless I absolutely have to lock the door. And I'm very calculated in when I need to lock the door. And I mean, the same thing even in my business. If somebody chooses not to work with me right now, if they say, oh, well, you know, I don't think that it's time, it's like, you know what? That's okay. You try to do it on your own, and if you do it, I'm going to be cheering for you. But if you do end up realizing that it was harder than you thought, and you really do want my help, the door is open. You can always come back in. But the thing about me again is I'm constantly rising to a higher level. I'm constantly evolving. I'm constantly transforming. Who you meet of me today is not who you're going to meet 6 months from now. It's like it'll still be me, but I'm going to have evolved even more. I'm going to have even more insight. And every day that somebody misses out, like they're missing out. Like it's kind of sad, the people in my life that I had to close the door on because they were misusing things, and then they choose to keep that door, like they don't even try to knock on that door, even knowing that door's open, and they won't walk through it at the higher level. They're just going to ignore me. Well, they're missing out, but there's nothing I can really do about that. And as for my true love, I mean, he knows where I am. And I have made sure he won't miss out, because I've also, the thing about me is, if I know that somebody is going to feel really sad because they missed out a lot, I make sure to document. And I want my true love to know that if he had to work on himself, if he had to do things, if he had to build stuff, and he could not be in connection with me in that time for whatever reason, it's okay. I saved it all. It's all there for him. We can go through it together. Or he can go through it on his own when he misses me, whatever. Doesn't matter. We can just move forward once he's ready. And in the meantime, I'm moving forward. I'm doing things. The kids start school in September, and if my true love doesn't come in by that point, well, then he doesn't come in. And that just means I spend a little bit more time here where I'm at. And we just have to stay in the city until the kids finish another year. Because I don't want to uproot my kids in the middle of the school year. That's not right for me, for them. Like, I wouldn't do that. But, you know, whatever. It's okay. He can do what he wants. And same thing, my business. Like, if people are like, hey, I want you on a podcast, and then they have to reschedule because things come up, that's okay. Reach out to me again. No opportunity is ever fully lost if it's meant for you. So, if it's meant for you, it will come back around. You haven't missed out. Just don't give up. Move forward if it's not the right time. But at the same time, don't toss those dreams away. Now, last year, I didn't know how things were going to turn out. I had to burn a lot down, and I had to give up. I mean, I've always had to burn something down. And either it's gone forever because it wasn't meant to stay, or you suddenly realize that there was even more magic there than you thought. In my case, in this instance with my true love, I honestly didn't know. I didn't have full confirmation until after I burned it all down. And then suddenly the pieces really came together. And things really started to happen in a way that I had not been expecting. And then even when he closed the door on me, again, because he had it open and then he closed it again at the start of this year, I was like, okay, yeah, you've closed the door, but now all this other interesting stuff is happening. So the door's not closed forever. It's just this door's closed. But now there's a whole new possibility. And, I mean, I've been having fun with it. I've been playing around with it. And, yeah. Don't be afraid of moving forward. Because what's meant for you will follow you. when the time is right. And what's not meant for you, you will automatically move on. You won't have to fight and claw and try so hard to let it go. It'll just be easy to let it go. I let go of the timeline. I had a timeline, I let it go. I know that everything's going to happen in its own time now, and when it happens, it happens. When you know, you know. And when you're ready, it comes to you. So, yeah. That's what I wanted to leave you with. I'm going to go and enjoy the rest of the sunshine today. Happy Lionsgate. Put your intentions out into the world. And if things don't turn out exactly how you thought they were, all hope is not lost. If it's truly meant for you, something's going to shift. Typically it happens in September. That's what I noticed. It typically happens in September. And then around the first few weeks of October, you get even more confirmation. I've really been following the patterns. It's quite interesting. Start following what happened in certain years and certain months of certain years and certain days of certain years. And you'll see it. You'll see your own pattern. You'll see how you moved on or moved forward. And you'll see that even when things were really hard and you had to burn something down, that it was to make room for something else that was 10 times more epic. So, yeah. I'm going to go. And love and light to you. Namaste.